Listen, Ohio State has improved drastically on defense. I mean, drastically. And now you look up, and they're one of the best defenses, at least statistically, in the country. So it begs the question, like, what's going on? Why are they so much better? And is it just Jim Knowles? So Jim Knowles is their new defensive coordinator. It's his first year at Ohio State, and he came over from Oklahoma State. And at Oklahoma State, by the way, they were really good defensively. So he comes over and he's hired away, and I'll be honest, I think he had the most pressurized coordinator position in America, because it's pretty clear that Ohio State, at least last year, was probably good enough in every other area other than the defense to go and maybe even compete for a national championship. That's the expectation at Ohio State. The expectation is to win every single game. And so he's brought on, it's like, hey, fix the one thing that we need fixed so that we can win every game and win the national championship. And good luck. So here comes Jim Knowles, and I really love chatting with him about defense and defensive philosophy. And I want to go through it, okay? So the improvement under defensive coordinator Jim Knowles is really about his philosophy of defense. And when I talked to him about it, the origin of this defense really came when he was at Duke under David Cutcliffe, and he was the coordinator for the Duke Blue Devils. And he wanted to build a defense that was really predicated on two things. In the modern day college football, you need to get calls in quickly. So he wanted a defense that he could communicate very quickly and yet remain multiple in the way that he attacked the offense. Okay, so short calls that will allow him to change his front structure, change his coverage, as well as change the way that they could pressure or blitz a quarterback. And he wanted to maintain that aggressiveness even with quick communication so that if an offense was going fast, he didn't have to sit there and base defense. And then the other part, okay, so it's two-pronged. So that was the first thing, quickly communicate. And then the second thing is disguise. He wanted to have the ability to always be in something where it was disguised. The opposing quarterback and the opposing offensive coordinator would not quite know what they were in. And he could bait you into bad plays or even bad throws. He could make the quarterback hold onto the ball for an extra beat in order for the pressure to show up. That's one of the reasons why Oklahoma State led the country last year in sacks per game. So let me show you some examples. All right, so it's easy to just talk about it, but I think it's better when we show you. So let's start with the ability to really confuse an offensive coordinator. And in this look, what's going to happen is that an offensive coordinator is going to see the defense lined up, and he's going to determine whether he wants to stay with the original play call or change it. The original play call in this play for Iowa was a little tunnel screen to the wide receiver. What Ohio State is showing is cover zero man coverage. Okay, so this is what they're showing. It's man-to-man, tunnel screen, great option, because all you need to do is come out and you just block this outside corner with the inside tight end. But the problem is that Ohio State dropped into a zone with everybody's eyes on the quarterback. So even this corner, he's going to drop and open up and put his eyes on the quarterback because he's in zone, which allows him to react quicker. There was a linebacker that was dropping out. He's there to stop it. The safety is over the top. He's there to stop it. So the defense, and more importantly, the defensive look pre-snap, baits the coordinator into staying with a play that he might not otherwise have stayed with if he knew it was going to be a zone. Let's go to the next look. Okay, so this look here, Ohio State's going to have kind of a muddled middle of the field look, but they're going to drop a safety to the middle of the field, which means that you're going to have free access on the outside. The corners have deep responsibility. Should be an easy throw on the outside. It wasn't because Iowa's not very good offensively, but that should have been a completion, okay? So there's three safeties there, and the quarterback and the play caller are going to keep that in mind. Like, okay, we know that. We've seen that on film. They're going to drop back to a single safety look. When the middle of the field closes with one safety, I'm going to have free access on the outside. That should be an easy throw. Well, what happens next? Well, you get the same type of muddled three safety look in the back end, but this time, rather than the near hash safety dropping back, the middle safety drops back, and the second level players drop underneath the outside routes. So now it's a much wider coverage on the underneath. Petrus has to hold the ball because the throw he's expecting to have isn't there. When he has to hold the ball an extra beat, guess what shows up? The rush. And they get there and they get the sack. So that's an element of disguising for the quarterback. He's not getting what he expects to see because of the disguise, and it's a really good job. Okay, so this is against Rutgers. On this play, it looks like Ohio State's going to be in man with one safety up here that's free. There's 5 guys in to protect. Okay, so now Ohio State moves. What do they move to? Well, let's rewind it back. They move to cover 0. That free safety is going to take man. The end's going to drop out and take the back, which leaves 6 guys to rush. They can overwhelm the offensive line. They spin this guy who looks like he's man coverage, and bam! I mean, hit in the face. Incomplete pass. Nice job disguising. But again, the memory bank for a quarterback and an offensive coordinator is going to be quite good. In particular, and trust me when I tell you this, when you get hit in the face like that as a quarterback, you remember those looks. You just do. They remain in your memory bank for that game. So now we move later in the game against Rutgers, and what do they look like? Boom, look at that. They look like they're all coming in that same look. So the quarterback's going to say, I need to get the ball out quickly to my side adjust to the tight end. But Ohio State has dropped back into coverage. They disguised. The quarterback has to wait a beat. He holds the ball, and then he throws it away. It's an incompletion and a quality play for the defense. Why? Because they disguised the look. You're giving something to the coordinator and the quarterback pre-snap that is not what they're getting post-snap. That confusion leads to the quarterback holding onto the ball so you can get pressure onto him, and it leads to the coordinator leaving plays on or checking into plays that are not advantageous for the look that's going to be created post-snap. So Jim Knowles comes into the Ohio State defense, and they've improved drastically. And how has he done that? By confusing the opposing OC and the opposing quarterback. That's his philosophy, and he's done it very well. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.